That's right, Penny. We're right here this afternoon. Let's let Penny's wearing her shirt here this afternoon. What do you think? Penny's got her shirt on, and I just got one of these cool Festival of Flower t-shirts. Got the little pocket place right there. But on the back, look at this, folks. You're going to want to get one of these. They're very colorful. I love the blue. Kind of reminds me of the sky that we're not seeing right now, right? Anyways, just wanted to show you those, so make sure you get your t-shirts. And we have a really, really special show for you this afternoon. This is all about the gardens and the symposium. So we have Stephanie Turner here, a regular guest right here on WCRS. Stephanie is handling the symposium. She works for the she's a Clemson Extension agent. And an oldie but a goodie that's been on this show many years ago when we first started doing topiaries with Dwight. Ann Barklow is with us here today. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
absolutely.
Ann.
You might need to pull that mic over there closer to you. My fault. There you go. Just pull the whole thing. There you go.
Okay. How's
All
that?
right. There you go.
Is that good?
Yep. We're good now. And Stephanie's here. And Tracy's in the background. Go ahead and say something, Tracy.
Hi.
Okay, Tracy's here for moral support, and we are going to be talking about all these different things. But Stephanie, we've got another symposium coming. This really has become a popular part of the Festival of Flowers.
Yes, it's been a really fun event to be part of. This is our fifth annual symposium. So
It's hard to believe it's been 5 years, isn't it?
yeah, and way back then I had approached the chamber and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing, something educational with this festival?" And so that's where it started.
And they've not let you quit doing it yet.
No. Yeah, they've put up with me for 5 years, sure, yeah.
So every year you've got to come up with something a little different along the same line. One of the big differences this year is it's going to be out at Piedmont Tech, right?
Right. So Wesley Commons is undergoing some construction this year, and so we've moved it to Piedmont Tech James Self Conference Center. We'll be on the second floor of that facility, and we'll have 2 rooms, which means we can have 2 concurrent sessions. So
Wow.
When you look at our lineup, we have our keynote speaker for everyone at the beginning to kick us off, but then the rest of the day you'll have 2 choices to choose from for each session.
Wow. So who is the keynote speaker this year?
So our keynote is Dr. Brandon Huber. He is the Controlled Agriculture Specialist for SC State University. He's an avid plant collector and grower of record-winning fruits and vegetables. Those people that grow the giant pumpkins and watermelons for the square, for the fairs.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit of interest in all different kinds of aspects of horticulture. He's been a guest on Making It Grow many times, so folks may have known him from there.
Right.
But he's going to be talking to us about his plant collecting and so forth.
Is he bringing any samples with him or
Pictures mostly. Pictures mostly. Yeah, these are his babies. He's not selling them. He's collecting them. But yeah, we were talking before the show. He has one of those giant corpse flowers.
Just what everybody needs for their yard, right?
No, right. He keeps this one in the greenhouse. That's a baby, and it's I guess it gets huge, about 10 feet tall. So yeah.
That could really eat a corpse now.
Yeah.
Wow. So
kind of gives you the idea of the flavor of the things that he collects. Some interesting and unique plants.
Interesting and unique. So that starts in what? That's at what time does that start?
We start with registration and check-in at 9:30, and our first speaker will talk. That's our kickoff. Would be Brandon Huber. He'll start at 10. And then our first choice of sessions will be at 11, and so we have from Carter and Holmes, we can learn about orchids and their companions. And then from Clemson Extension, we'll be talking about gardening without invasive species, and sort of not just these are bad, don't plant them, but why. What is the impact when you plant some of these things? And so learning about that.
Are you talking about things like bamboo or
Sure.
what? Yeah.
Bamboo, Elaeagnus, Bradford pear, you know, all the no-nos that we talk about. Sometimes they'll plant that, but she'll also be talking about why, you know, what is the greater ecological and economic impact on some of these things when you do that. So you can choose between those two at 11, and we'll have a hot buffet lunch at noon. And then at 1, our 2 sessions, we have a local horticulturist, Mike Royal. So he runs Creation Trees over in 96. And so he'll be talking about how he raises these trees and what species he raises and sort of like how his business, you know, cycle runs, creating all these interesting landscape trees. And then the other option at 1 o'clock will be Samantha Brown from Clemson Extension, and she'll be talking about lawn alternatives.
Lawn alternatives?
Yes.
Rocks?
Yeah. So hopefully not just rocks, but no.
Okay.
But no, plants that you can use as ground covers and ways to shrink your lawn, ways to kind of use less lawn in the landscape and that sort of thing. So
wildflowers?
Sure. Wildflowers would be an option. Ground covers, larger mulched areas, shade gardens, you know, that sort of thing. So she'll be talking about that. And then at 2 o'clock will be our last sessions, and they'll actually be workshops. So we have 2 agents from Clemson. You can choose between doing plant propagation from stem and leaf cuttings or learning about sort of a plant problem boot camp. So identifying different plant problems and figuring out what you're dealing with.
Now talk about the boot camp. What type of things would be in the boot camp?
Oh, so just some samples that show kind of insect damage, examples of disease problems, just sort of examples that people come across in their landscape, and sort of helping walk you through how to sleuth what is this, you know, what is this, is it a problem, first of all, and then how do I address it, and is it an insect, is it a disease, and, you know, kind of walking you through that process.
Okay. And so then you have door prizes at the end, I see.
Yes, but I have no real hints about the door prizes right now. So.
It'll just be a total surprise, huh? Okay, all right. Well, now when is this?
This is June 5th, this Friday, the main weekend of the festival, and so it'll be all day on that Friday. And it's a good long day of learning.
You know, I think this would be great for a couple of girlfriends to get together and come to, even a husband and wife, I would think, that like to garden and find out more about different things. That way you could literally split up and cover all the programs that are going on.
That's true. You could split up and then compare notes afterwards.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the things that I always think about, Stephanie, since you told me about these giant spiders that we're having. How are we doing on these giant spiders? I'm going to go off topic here for a second because I need to know about the spiders.
So interestingly enough, I've been eyeballing some baby spiders around my property that I suspect are baby Joros. But they're very small and I can't ID them yet. Okay. So I will report back.
Okay.
But I do feel like I know I've seen some adults in our area at the end of the summer last year. And I know the trekkers, have you seen them?
Yes,
You've walked
we see them. We see them on our hikes.
Yes, so...
We have a person that walks ahead with a stick and knocks them down.
Oh my gosh!
So we can get through.
Yeah. we will be seeing them this year. I feel like a lot more people in Greenwood will be noticing them, yeah.
Now, are these dangerous?
They don't bite people, and it's not a bad bite if they do bite you, but you really pretty much have to manhandle them for them to bite you. They actually paid, I think, grad students to handle and squish them and get bit and report back. And so it's not a bad bite, and it's not venom, you know, a difficult venomous thing.
Okay.
But the webs are a nuisance because they're very, very strong. Like normally if you're hiking, you can just go through a spider web. These are not that way.
That's why you need to have somebody with a stick.
They're very, very strong and stout.
A lead hiker with a stick.
And they make their little egg cases. They're kind of fuzzy and oval, and they make them on different surfaces, and those kind of are a nuisance as well, because you have to clean those off. They get stuck on things.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to mention those because I know we've talked about them before on the air, and I just thought that might be something that people are not aware of, right?
Right, and ecologically, we're just concerned about how many, native insects they're going to be consuming or native spiders they're going to be displacing. And so if you see them and you identify or you want to know if it's a Joro, you're welcome to contact us. But yeah, we do want to get rid of them if we see them.
Yeah, well, you said that that's going to be very hard to do, though, right?
It is.
It is.
Like I've noticed this little spider. I think there's 5 on one shrub in my front yard, and that's why it's very unusual because I haven't seen that before.
Right.
So that's why I suspect they are Joro. But I don't know, maybe this rain washed those little babies away. I don't know. I have to check.
Dream on.
Yeah.
Well, now, how much does it cost, and how do you sign up for it?
So you just go to the festival website, scfestivalflowers.org, and there's a whole calendar of all the events, and you just click on the Garden Symposium, and it'll take you from there to the Eventbrite link, and you can select your session and check out. It's $35, but with the Eventbrite fee, I think it's $37 and change.
Okay.
So.
All right, so that's very affordable for all the things you're getting for a whole day.
Oh yeah, for lunch and then a whole day of different sessions, definitely worthwhile.
Wow. So this is something to check out. What do they do with the one with the orchids? I think that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've heard of Carter and Holmes before, if you've visited them. They're over in Newberry. They're a world famous orchid breeder and supplier here in South Carolina. Yes.
Wow.
And so she's going to come talk about growing orchids and their companion plants. And so if you're not specifically wowed about orchids, she'll also have other ones that are kind of similar houseplant care and so forth. So you can learn all about that and some about Carter and Holmes from her session.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they ship them all over the world or all over the United States,
yeah,
I guess?
Yeah, and they win awards for their breeding and their different varieties, and yeah.
Wow, I might have to check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. They're right in Newberry, not
In
far at all.
Newberry. Wow. All right. So that's one. And anything else that you find? How do you put together this group of people? I mean, you really outdo yourself every year coming up with good people to bring in.
Well, I try to think what people ask me, when they want to know things, it's the kind of questions I get. So what kind of sessions would answer those questions for people? I also just kind of think what's different that I haven't seen repeated a lot lately in other symposiums or other programming. So I try to do something that's a little bit unusual.
Yeah.
And that seems like I'm contradicting myself. Always ask questions and unusual, but it is. It's a mix of both.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that's pretty cool, and I know, Stephanie, you love putting this together and getting people together. So sign up today. Don't wait. This is going to be on
June 5th.
June 5th,
Friday.
which is a Friday. So you'll have to have some time. It runs from 9:30 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. It is going to be at Piedmont Technology College Self-Conference Center. It's not where they've demolished the place. No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the smaller one, sort of at the edge of the campus there where it comes to a V.
And I think this is neat because it's a small group. It's not like 200. It's a small group, so you'll have a lot of interaction and everything with the speakers, I would presume.
Yeah, we have a limited number of tickets, and that will make it really easy to ask questions and interact with the speakers for sure.
Yeah. Well, this has been such a nice addition, Stephanie. And next year, I hope you're already thinking, because next year is the 60th anniversary. It's going to have to be over the top.
Oh, yes. So Tracy is already blowing me up with ideas so we can make it really cool next year. So stay tuned on that.
Stay tuned. But make sure you go see this one this year. Now, one of the things that I have seen since I've been cruising uptown, the topiaries are making their way out there. So I haven't seen all of them, but I have seen quite a collection of topiaries out there. The gamecocks out there, the tigers out there, Clemson tiger, and the elephants, right? The elephants are out, and the butterfly. And I will say this, the peacock is huge. I mean, those plumes are huge on that peacock. I saw the golf ball out there too. So check out the topiaries. It's time to get up there and start getting pictures as they, I'm sure all this water is going to make it a little difficult. What do you think, Ann, about the amount of rain that we've had in the last few days for the topiaries?
Yeah, I mean, they can get overwatered. I mean, they're all planted in moss, so it will drain really good. So you're just kind of hoping for that. So, but some of those downpours have been pretty tough. They smashed some of my flowers. So.
Dislodge a plant or break a stem
Yeah, well, I mean, did you see where up there at the 7-Eleven where it brought the whole awning down over it there? So yeah, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah.
But Ann, we are talking about all the things going on with the gardens. But first, we need to talk a little bit about you. When I first started helping with when the topiaries first came, you were right there, part of it in the beginning, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we got the greenhouse, that's when I was hired in with Jimmy McInville. So we started, taking care of them where they used to be scattered all over the place at different people's homes and whatnot. So now they were in one location. So. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan, of topiaries, but
you weren't a big fan.
No, I wasn't a big fan. I came from Los Angeles where it was drought country and these required a lot of water. So I go, this can't be good. But then of course we get like 50 inches of water a year where we only got 5 in Los Angeles. So, but yeah, it was. I've never grown like, I've grown horizontally but not vertically, and so plants do weird things. So it was all a lot of learning.
Right. Well, I remember when Dwight was here and Kay Self and Catherine Smith. I remember the first year driving through there and seeing Catherine Smith and Kay Self watering those things, trying to keep them alive. Today, of course, they have water inside them and everything. Yeah. So it really has changed up over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah. And we started getting the eyes at the local taxidermist, and they looked really real, like T-Rex. We got these really scary eyes and stuff. So, and that was kind of fun, to do that. I remember the city manager, Charlie Barano, he was like, it's the first time I've okayed a PO for eyes.
It's like art and architecture, engineering, horticulture, all together.
Right.
And then we started using beneficial insects. So he had never bought bugs before. So we would bring in beneficial insect to prey on the other guys in there. So it was quite, it was a lot of fun.
But there's so much history to that, right? And what we look at the finished product and go, oh, isn't it beautiful? But we have no idea what goes on behind the scenes.
No, and it is that the plants have to be a special kind, and you can't, like I think we talked about last time I was here, was like, the bear cat. The outside of the plants are going to dry out and get a lot of sun, but the inside of his legs are going to need a shady, and require more wet moisture, so it's like all these plants have to, go with whatever the topiary is, so it makes it hard.
And now we can leave them out, whereas before, if you had them 2 weeks, okay, that's good, we got it through it, right?
Yeah.
Now they'll leave them out. I'm sure they're going to leave them out through the Festival of Discovery and Blues Cruise. Yeah. But there's another thing coming up. I want to talk about that, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about the different gardens here with Ann Barklow and Stephanie Turner. Is America in Bloom is getting ready to come, and you work with that too, don't you?
Yeah, I work on that committee with the Greenwood in Bloom, and so they will be coming in and touring. They're going to be touring different historical preservations and different, landscape elements, and they'll be over at the rain garden that I help with over there behind Kickers. and that's where the Drury parking lot is.
Right.
And so that is mostly natives, and we're getting a new sign put in there. So, which the American Bloom has suggested, to put the historical railroad information on there, and also to put like what were these plants used for in the history. And so we've got historical uses of some of the plants and native plants that are there. So they really help us a lot.
Yeah,
And
well,
I think this is our 9th year with them. So
it's been a long time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we are here with Ann Barklow. She is a master gardener for the Lakelands. We're here with Stephanie Turner. She is a Clemson Extension agent and knows all about plants and everything. And we always enjoy having her here. We have TW in the back corner here, not saying a word, just being quiet and being here. And we have Penny's here today. Yes, Penny is here. I'm here. We're going to take a short break here, and we'll be right back. So don't you go away. Take it away.
To stand firm for our Christian conservative values in Columbia, and I've advocated for the local issues that impact our community every day. Whether it's protecting Lake Greenwood or simply being available when you need help, I've always believed in being responsive to the people that I serve. If you need me, you can call me directly at 864-396-3110. If you're not in my contact list, text me and leave a message. I'm John McCravey, and I'm proud to approve this message.
Hi, this is Brantley with Greenwood Chick-fil-A. Nominate your office, teachers, church group, or team for Breakfast for a Bunch with WCRS. We love surprising and delighting our Greenwood community. Call or text 864-332-9355. It would be our pleasure. Call or text 864-332-9355 for Breakfast for a Bunch with WCRS.
Hi, this is Mark Murph with Gunnels Marine, inviting you to our in-water boat show Friday, May 29th and Saturday, May 30th at Grand Harbor Marina N96. Come step aboard the newest models of Godfrey and Harris pontoons, explore premium features, and even take a ride on the water. We'll also have water sports gear and accessories to get your family ready for the summer on Lake Greenwood. Special event pricing, manufacturer incentives, and financing opportunities available during the show. May 29th and 30th, 10 a.m., open to the public. Stop by, step aboard, and let the summer begin with Gunnels Marine.
Celebrate summer in full bloom. This is Lindsay Turner, chairperson of the 59th South Carolina Festival of Flowers in beautiful Greenwood, presented by Wesley Commons. This festival is packed with fun-filled attractions for everyone, from Kid Fest to arts and crafts, garden symposium to 5K, wine walk to bike tour, blooms and beats, and the larger-than-life topiaries. Main weekend is June 5th through 7th. Visit scfestivalofflowers.org for all the details and celebrate summer in full bloom at the South Carolina Festival of Flowers.
That's right. We are right back here at WCRS Radio, talking topiaries, America in bloom. We're talking everything that has to do with flowers and festivals. So it's really great to have the opportunity to talk about these gardens. Now, this is a free event, and you, let me tell you, you need to get out and go to this event because I believe there are 10 gardens on this list. And I tell you what, we've got 10, but let's pick out some of the ones, like Ann Barklow's Teaching Gardens. What is that? I mean, that's yours.
Yeah, it's funny you would pick that one.
I
know.
know.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that one is fun, because I really built, designed my garden to be a demonstration garden. I was concerned about the pollinators, and that's why the city became a Bee City USA and Monarch Way stations, and we brought all that. And I learned so much from the city that I decided, well, I could bring this to my community. And so I just started to design this pollinator garden and do all that. So, we have issues with mosquitoes. And so that's a big teaching moment there. I'm going to be building the mosquito bucket of doom.
What's the mosquito bucket of doom? Now you've got me interested.
So you take a bucket and you paint it black because mosquitoes come to black. And then you put in a little bit of water, and then you add a little, like, maybe grass clippings or leaves or something, and make it nice and smelly, with that bacteria, because they really like to lay their eggs in the smelly gunk, And then you add one of these Bacillus thuringiensis little donuts, a little piece. They call them donuts, but they're not really donuts, but they're just something, a bacteria that kills the larva of the mosquitoes, but they don't know that's in there. They just know there's a nice place to lay their eggs, and then when their eggs hatch, they die. So so we'll have a demonstration on that, and a whole mosquito booth that the city of Greenwood has.
Whole mosquito booth?
Yeah, mosquito booth to educate people on mosquitoes and the larvae.
What about the citronella plants, those big mosquito plants? Do those work?
I'll divert to Stephanie.
Anything that tells you plants have a magical force field to combat insects is a myth. So yes, citronella is not like something that they're attracted to, and so if you rubbed it on your arms, it might repel them a little bit for a little while.
Right.
But having the plant next to you is not going to help. No.
So does citronella candles and all that stuff doesn't really work either?
It's a very small little radius right around the candle. If you line them all around you, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, that's not very helpful. It's also the same myth about planting different plants in your vegetable garden. There's no force field that they keep pests away from your vegetables or whatever. So.
How about deer?
Nope, doesn't work that way either.
Okay. All right, just thought I'd check. But what about deer don't like really roses, do they, because of the thorns and stuff?
Oh, they love roses.
They love roses.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, because I was reading something about the thorns in portulaca or something, and it said that was deer resistant.
Usually it's the sappy, sticky sappy plants. They don't like that.
Oh, okay.
So portulaca has sticky, thick, call it latex.
Okay.
It's white, sticky. Like if you ever break a piece and it gets on your hands and it's sticky.
Right.
Deer don't like that because can you imagine eating that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they don't like that very much.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then maybe I've done something a little right. So you have a mosquito.
So yeah, we're going to have different booths. So we've got 3 gardens in Puckett's Ferry over by Fuji. So, and we'll have educational booths at every one. The Master Gardeners are going to have a booth there, and then we'll have a deer booth. Have a mosquito booth.
What does the deer booth? Do you have deer in it?
Yeah, we might. We have, people don't realize, a lot of people say, well, I can't have a garden like that because I have deer. Well, we have 20 resident deer in Puckett's Ferry.
Okay.
20 deer
That's
in
a
that
lot.
small community. And we have these beautiful gardens, so we can do it. So the deer booth just kind of teaches you what plants are best and walk you through that. And Lisa over there, Lisa Heller, has a moon garden that she just put in the back. You can sit out there at dusk and look at this moon garden. And people don't realize that nighttime pollinators, they need plants too. And so you don't think of the moths and stuff, right? And so these moon gardens attract them. They usually have their fragrance at night. And so it's just wonderful that she's got this demonstration.
Well, that reminds me of Morticia. Do you remember Morticia used to go out and do moon bathing? Right? Yes, she did. She'd have the reflector, What
that's
was
funny.
the name of the show? It was some type of monsters. Maybe it was the Munsters.
The Munsters?
The Munsters.
Yeah, she'd go
Yeah.
out
Was
there
it?
with her reflector and sit with the moon, and of course she was white as a ghost, right?
Yeah, I'll tell Lisa about that. Maybe she might want to get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show people.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah,
was always.
yeah,
I always remembered that. So
Yeah. So we'll have a lot of education there, and things that people can learn and.
So this is not just in your backyard, or it is just in, or does it extend beyond your backyard?
Yeah, it's going to be in my front yard, and then along the side, I have the forest area because a lot of people are looking for shade plant solutions, and probably 75% of my plants are native plants to this area. Probably about 90% are perennials.
Oh wow!
And then when you go in the back, I have raised beds that usually grow. I have tomatoes and cucumbers and green beans, and then I also call it my mother garden because I take cuttings from all the ones I'm growing there in divisions, and we sell them at the Lakeland's Master Gardener plant sale in April. I always had to give them a plug.
That's right. That
Yeah.
was out at
PAA.
Greenwood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Piedmont Agency on Aging. There we go. Yes.
Yeah. So I have this little mother garden where I'll be starting cuttings of different plants, so we can have them there. And we're growing different. We're growing plants that we can pot up and sell at the plant sale.
So how much time do you spend with these gardens?
Well,
A lot?
I go out in the morning and I say, honey, I'll see you later. He said, I'll see you at dinner. So I guess that kind of tells you, you know. So I
But
kind of
you love your plants, right?
yeah, and well, you know what I love is all the life that's in there, and you know, like I'll sit there weeding by my penstemon, and they're just bzz, 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 you know, and like all day I'm just going, hey buddy, what's going on, you know, because there's just lizards and toads and frogs and hummingbirds flashing by, and then if I'm out there late, the fireflies are coming out, you know, so
That's cool.
it's just there's no chemicals, it's totally organic, and you know, so I'm never alone out there for sure. So
Just be worried if they start talking back to you.
they do.
They do. All right. Well, let's see. So what are some of the other ones? Like I said, you've got 10 gardens on here. So which one would you like to tell us about?
I don't know, you know, I was thinking about the edible city garden in Uptown Market, you
Right.
know, over by the splash pad.
Yes.
We had originally designed that to just show that you can have edibles along with beautiful plants, you know. So we ended up doing that. And then we started saying, you know, it's a wonderful education opportunity for kids to introduce them to strawberries and blueberries. There's blueberries there. And one little kid was over there one time, and he was collecting blueberries to give to his mom for blueberry pancakes, you know, and stuff. So we get
So
to
they can
bring-
actually pick
and,
them out
and
of there.
tomatoes, yeah. It when we first started, I think it was when I was there with Dwight that we started putting kale and cabbage and things out, and somebody said, well, somebody will steal them. Well, we want them to. We want them to take them
Right.
home and cook them up.
Right.
It'll be good for you. You know, so the edible garden is available if people want to go over there and get some tomatoes for their salad or something like that. So I kind of like that garden, and we work on it together with the Lakeland Master Gardeners and the city together. So that makes
Well, I
it
would think,
kinda
you know,
nice.
we talk about when we take kids to farms and everything where they actually see what a cow actually, where your meat comes from. It
Yeah.
doesn't actually come from the grocery store, right?
Right.
And to see that. So that's probably pretty cool for
Oh
them
yeah,
to see that.
pulling carrots out of the ground. I remember we had a young group of kids, and one little girl just pulled out a carrot, and then all of a sudden she just grabbed all of them with her both hands and started pulling them out. So it was quite an exciting thing for them. They see them in little packages at the store. They don't realize that you can get potatoes and peanuts and carrots out of there. So it's a wonderful opportunity to educate them on that. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And that's something you can go by anytime, whether you go by with this,
Absolutely.
you know, that's one of the ones that's available all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Now, your rain garden over there, you talked a little bit about that. It's behind Kickers. How did that get started?
Well, that's how they, it's actually the fancy word for it is bioretention pond. But nobody's going to come see a bioretention pond.
Right,
so
right.
we call it the Oak Avenue Pollinator Rain Garden, and that's a little more attractive. But basically, it's to keep, it's a jury parking lot. So you have these cars, they might be leaking oil, they might leak antifreeze, there might be trash, there might be all kinds of things. So when the rain comes, like it has for the last 2 weeks, it seems, but then it's going to take those impurities and it funnels them right into this rain garden, and then the roots will clean that out. And so when it gets to our groundwater, it's clean. If it goes straight to the lake, we're in trouble. So rain gardens are super important. We have one at the Clemson Extension also for their parking lot. So it's a wonderful thing. And then we decided to put a lot of natives in there. And we had a problem with weeds, so we decided to plant more plants to drown out the weeds. So it's not your
Does
usual.
that work? Does that work?
Yeah, it helps to shade them out. You're still going to get some, but
Right.
but if you cover the ground, it's kind of like the ground. If you have bare soil, it doesn't like that. It wants to.
Oh yeah, something's going to take that spot.
Yeah, it'll
It's
take
like an
that
empty
spot.
seat at the table.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
here's the buffet. I'm sitting down.
Yeah. So my garden on the tour will demonstrate different ground covers you can put in to help suppress weeds. And
I'm going to have to come out and check out your garden there.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
And so where is that? That's out at...
Out at Puckett's Ferry, and we've got 3 gardens there. And my neighbor is going to be also on the tour, and she has a really neat example of when she first moved here. She knew I was a master gardener, so she came up to me and said, "What should I plant here?" I said, "I've been designing that little strip for 10 years." I said, "Do you really want to know?" And I said, "What do you like?" And she says, "I don't want little round shrubs." And I go, all right, my kind of girl. So we just put perennial annual garden because it's a very narrow, a lot of these gardens, they're really narrow, and they
Right.
put these big shrubs and you're constantly pruning them.
Right.
So and then she's got this pollinator magnet in there, with all these pollinators, and she just goes out and watches her pollinators, and she's got milkweed for the monarchs and different thing. And then one of the big things is they have blooms from spring, summer, and fall.
Right.
So my fall garden's breathtaking. I love it. So it's just something, some of the spring things are dying now. So most people are going to see the summer blooms, which are pretty, so.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. So is that you've got another teaching garden and Lisa Hiller garden?
Yeah.
Are those out there at
Yeah.
Buckets Ferry?
Yep, she's around the corner.
She's around the corner.
She manages with all those deer around there. And she's got a husband that's a woodworker, so she's got these obelisks, which
Really?
are like little trellises.
Right.
And she's got them all over, and he's just like, and I sent her a podcast about some kind of other thing, and so she goes, "Oh, well, I need another," and he's like mad at me now, like he's hardly speaking to me. Thanks, Ann. I gotta go make this now. So, but he's
Nothing like having 2 honey-do lists.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's been, hers the one that has the moon garden and stuff. So, and she's got a lot of roses too. So she'll talk about Japanese beetles too. So,
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got the Wesley Commons Community Garden. I always enjoy seeing that because those are individuals have a little plot out there and they plant different things, right?
Yeah.
Flowers, vegetables, whatever they want.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. They're really pretty.
And they've got pretty much, I think, aren't they pretty much raised beds? Are
Yep.
they? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can go out and see that. But now, how does somebody know where to go? I mean, we're talking about this like we know where we're going and everything else. What does somebody do that wants to go see this list? Because you've got 10 gardens. That's huge.
Right. I mean, the first thing I would do, I could be wrong, but I would go right on the the website for the Festival of Flowers.
South Carolina
Yeah.
Festival of Flowers.org.
And then go to garden tours, and the addresses are on there, so you can kind of plan, and the map, so you can kind of plan your your day and more. It's gonna be challenging to hit 10 gardens. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah,
How'd you get
prioritize.
How'd you get 10 gardens? That seems like a
I know.
massive group
Yeah,
here.
well, Jan Coffey is the chairperson for that. She's just kind of an overachiever. She always has been. So I think it's just that, you know.
She's a very persuasive personality.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So it's been, and there's a couple of churches on there, I know too, which the
yeah.
Episcopal Church of the Resurrection. I know they have a little
Uptown
prayer. Yeah, it's not too far from the library.
Right.
And so you could just kind of start there. And then if you go to the Gardens of Rock Presbyterian, that's heading right towards Puckett's Ferry. So I think you could get them all in.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah,
Now,
maybe.
what's the Kitson Market Home and Gardens?
I know, that one looked really cool. I want to
Right?
go to that too. It has a Zen garden and a koi pond.
Oh, okay.
We've got to have that. And
Right.
then she's got this thing where they, along the way, they have these antique treasures they unearthed from the property. And they have them repurposed and creative and imagine. I want to go see that.
Is that
Yeah.
Missy? No. who's
No,
who
so
is-
this is a transplanted master gardener that just contacted the festival and said, "Hey, I want to be on the doors."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
something.
Kitson Market. I don't know
Yeah.
where that went. Well, that's
Kitson Street.
Kitson
Yeah,
Street.
Okay. All right. So I'll have to check that one out. So you are going to spend, now this is only for one day,
Yeah.
One day
10 to
only?
5.
10 to 5, and that's on Saturday.
That's right.
Yes.
We used to have them on Sundays too, but we talked her out down from that.
It's a lot to ask people
It's-
to be all weekend
Yeah.
at their home.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of work to do those gardens and have it prepared for this.
It is. It is. Yeah. And Lisa has a really sweet sign. It says something about come into my garden. My plants want to meet you. and I think that's beautiful. You
That
know.
is.
And I have some monarch caterpillars hanging out on my milkweed in the back by the pool, so I'm hoping to show those off. They want to meet people too, so
Well, you know, the monarch butterflies, they're important. And isn't Greenwood a monarch?
yeah, they have a monarch way station.
Right.
I
A
do
weigh
too.
station. We take them over there and put them on the scales.
They got it's
Come
a way.
on, Ann.
Well, they
No,
caught,
not way like on your way. Not way like wait.
It's not weight.
No, it's like on
Yeah.
your way. We check you out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right. Ah!
so yeah. So we're getting some now in the spring. They're going north, and then later in the fall we'll have them come through on their migration. So we Greenwood plays an important role in that. The city of Greenwood and all of us. Yeah.
So, do they know to stop by the way station and wave goodbye as they're going? And when they fly in, do they stop by and say, "We're back. What's for dinner tonight?" I mean, anything like that? I just need to know.
They just count and measure the caterpillars at the, way
caterpillars.
station.
Okay.
Yes.
Not the actual.
Not the actual adult butterfly, yeah. So they can tell a lot about the length of the caterpillar by how old it is. And so that tells you the timing of when adults are laying eggs, when they're coming through here, and so forth. So
Now, you have to use, what is it? You have to use milkweed. What is that? You have to use that. That's
they
what
need
they need.
milkweed as a host plant, yes. So that's what the caterpillars eat, and so that's what the adults lay their eggs on.
So do people actually, I mean, I know Ann does, but she's a little, strange anyways. But
Thanks, Ann. Takes one to know one.
Strange in the best way possible.
right. But I mean, do people actually grow milkweed? Did I see somewhere
Oh,
where
yeah.
they were
Oh, yes.
telling people they were selling milkweed, they were giving it or something at some
Yes.
point?
Yeah.
Yes, there's organizations that provide seed for free to people, mail it out. Milkweed is, a necessary part to support the monarchs.
Yeah, and we always have it at the Lakeland Master Gardener's plant sale. We have milkweed for them to get. And, a little fun fact, because I was just in the backyard and I noticed these caterpillars, that the common milkweed has such a rich sap in it that the monarch caterpillar, as little as it is, knows to break that midrib right in the center so that the sap that's coming down won't wash them away.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. They know to break that little bit of the midribs, and then they go down and start feeding. Now, how do they know that?
I don't know.
This is just a puzzlement.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, because it would be like a fire hose coming out if they bit into it without doing that. Now it's just like a little garden hose, So it's just, it's amazing that they know where to go, what to do.
Well, how important are the monarchs? Stephanie, speak to that, because I think a lot of people don't realize that we really had a deficit of this. So to be able to bring these back is really a pretty big deal.
It is a compelling story, is that they are seeing that the numbers are good, and the migration sites where they're looking at in Mexico, they're counting them, and they're seeing that numbers are good and they're rebounding. So that is good, but our human activities, our habitat devastation, our insecticide use, all that is a threat to all native insect populations. Monarchs are just really the poster child for it.
Right.
Every insect has its own special niche in our web,
Kind of like honeybees, right?
Honeybees aren't even from here.
Okay.
But native bees, yes.
Native bees, okay.
So honeybees are kind of like cattle, right? They're not from here. They're European. We raise them because they're useful for us, and they are very good pollinators.
Right.
But there's hundreds of native bees to South Carolina as well.
Yeah.
So every insect that has its part in this dance, they pollinate certain plants, they have different adaptations, and so there's an interaction. They're a food source for other animals in the web, and then it's just everything has its place. And it's just monarchs are like a poster child because they're so well known, easily recognized, really beautiful.
Absolutely.
And what is that about, like keystone species? They would be considered that, wouldn't they? Keystone? Where they're important. If we lose the monarchs, that's like a big thing or something. Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know the concept of keystone species, but I'm not sure if monarchs are considered
If they
one.
would, I don't either. Yeah.
What about now? I was just thinking about this. You've got so many good teaching gardens and this type of thing, but is this something to bring children to?
Sure.
Well, I mean,
I'll show them my caterpillars.
You show them your caterpillars?
Yeah.
Supervised children.
Supervised.
As someone who used to supervise the splash pad, supervised children.
Yeah.
These are people's homes, so yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have mosquito larvae in a little container so they'll be able to identify it. Kids are best to teach about mosquitoes because then they shame their parents, and tell them, you got standing water out here, Mosquitoes
got to dump this bucket.
Yeah, you got to
pick
dump
up this
that.
trash.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think
kids are great to educate on that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can remember when George McKinney used to come on, and we had the certain type of disease that was going around. Zika, and that even a tablespoon of water could create the larvae.
Yeah.
So my question to you was, because you had that pot with the black and everything, how is that, how do you keep it from not developing larvae?
Well, we do develop larvae. The larvae do hatch out from the eggs. That's what we want them to do. But we have a little Bacillus thuringiensis, which is a bacteria that kills the larva stage. So we have that in there. So they can go ahead and lay their eggs so they don't know they're laying it and it's going to die. So we're...
They call them like mosquito bits or mosquito dunks. And you can purchase, they have that bacteria in it. So you're making a perfect habitat for the mosquitoes so that they don't lay eggs everywhere else in your yard, and then you're just luring them to the
so you can buy those things at Lowe's or any of the
Ace Hardware,
Ace Hardware.
And and you also want to pay attention to the drains, and we'll be educating on that too. There's different, like my pool drains don't drain all the way. They leave about an inch of water in there. And so people need to put those little bits in there too. You have to still control the areas. So we teach people that. It's like you say, even dumping my wheelbarrow over, then it has things that catch water on the backside.
Yes.
And so it takes like a cap full of water is all it takes.
That's what George used to say.
Yeah. So we'll be educating on all that. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a fun weekend. Stephanie, one more time, what's happening and what day is it? A symposium? Just give us
the Garden Symposium is Friday, June 5th. You can register online. Go to scfestivalflowers.org and get your tickets because it is a ticketed event, and it's all day, 9:30 to 4. lots of learning to do.
And you got choices. You got
and
choices.
You have concurrent sessions, so you can choose this or that in 3 of the different sessions, so that's good. And a hot lunch, so can't beat that for the ticket price for sure.
That's right.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but there's also a tour of the pollinator garden uptown, June 9th, and that's a Tuesday. And that will be Ann Barklow and
where will that
Carla
be?
Coffee, and that is at the Veteran Center gazebo uptown. And so you can do that June 9th at noon, and that's free, and there's no tickets, and you just show up and do. Then walk around the pollinator garden looking at pollinator attracted plants, talking about different pollinators.
That's cool.
I don't know if you remember that area used to be just rounded shrubs.
Right.
And Billy Allen, who worked there, said to me, "We got to do something about that garden, you know." And I said, "Well, let's just make it a whole pollinator garden." I was just joking. And he said, "Go ahead." So that's how we got started on it. We took everything out and started building that. So.
Yeah, it's been a work in progress for years.
I know it. I know it.
And it
It's
looks
really
quite
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't you have some birdhouses and stuff there too? I think I've seen. No.
No. Oh,
No?
yeah, we did do that. We did
There?
the
Okay.
living roof birdhouses. That's right.
That's around the city. Yeah, you can go visit all
And
the
we have a bee
birdhouses.
hotel there, I think.
A
And
bee
the
hotel.
Bee Bar and Grill.
Oh, and the bee bar and grill, too.
What's the bee bar and grill? I'll bite.
The bees need water, especially honeybees towards the end of the season when it's really hot. They need water to cool their hives. And so we built this shallow water where they can go in on the rocks and get their water. So, yeah.
That's cool. I don't think
know
I've
it.
ever seen that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, there is so much of the little stuff that is such a big deal, and you can really learn so much. So this is a learning opportunity to get out and check all these things out. I mean, we always think of the topiaries, they're beautiful and everything, but think about some of these other things that are going on. This with the garden tours and with the garden symposium, you could really learn a lot. And, you know, I think everybody loves having a beautiful garden, you know, or having something in their backyard that they can be proud of, right? So this is an opportunity to learn.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
It
to be
is.
more connected to what you're doing in the backyard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Different aspect of it, for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Trency, did we miss anything?
You covered it all.
We covered it all. We got the word. We just didn't give out the telephone number, though, 864-223-8431. If you need to give them a call, you sure can, but the best place to go to the festival, South Carolina Festival of Flowers.org. Oodles of information, and by the way, they redesigned the website there. It looks beautiful, and lots of information that you can check out, so please do that. And make sure that you get your t-shirt here, right here. Look at this one. Now they come in all different colors. I just particularly like the blue. And Penny was wearing her shirt today. She wanted to fit in here today. So that's going to do it for us. Tomorrow morning, we are going to be right here with Mark Murph with Gunnels Marine. He's going to be talking about a boat show coming up this weekend over there at Grand Harbor. So make sure you tune in. Be on the air at 9:30. Mark will be here at 10. Stephanie, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Always, and we'll have to get cracking on some other, and we need to get Stacy over here to do some cooking on the air with us. And Barklow, it's been a long, long time since we've sat down to talk, but it felt like it was yesterday, didn't it?
It did feel like that, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming out. That's going to do it for us. Thank you again. Stephanie Turner, Ann Barklow, Ann Eller here saying adieu. So let's drop the curtain. There we go. Let's cue the music. And we are out of here, everybody. Bye-bye.